Okay, so today I wanted to do a video about sociopathy. And for anyone who doesn't know, it's basically referring to a psychological disorder in which the people that suffer from it don't experience compassion and empathy the way normal people do. And therefore, for them, life is just a series of hurdles and games to get their basic needs met, maybe even just to be entertained, but it doesn't really mean anything to them because, like I said, they don't experience compassion or empathy for other people, and they don't really even experience love for anyone. And I don't want to try to demonize those people, despite the fact that I realize that they are very dangerous and that they tend to pretty much destroy their own lives and the lives of the people around them. But it isn't their fault. And also, unfortunately, they only can get as far in life as other people allow them to. And if people allow themselves to be manipulated by fear and by lies, to an extent they're victims, but then also to an extent, at some point you just sort of have to wake up and stop being a victim and stand up for yourself, and not only stand up for yourself, but stand up for society at large. My interest in sociopathy started, basically I fell in love with one, and needless to say, that relationship did not go well, did not end well, caused me a great deal of emotional pain and torment until I realized what was really going on and what type of person they really were, and then everything just made so much sense. And I'm actually, as much as contact with this person hurt me, I can't say that I regret that it happened, because it's made me a stronger person, it's made me a wiser person, and it's also helped me to start seeing the world in a much more clear perspective than I did before. I guess another thing that sort of sparked my interest in this topic was reading the book The Sociopath Next Door by Martha Stout. And it was a very good book. It was a very informative book, but I do have one beef with the book. Having had a lot of time, I guess enough time to process reading and then doing some other research on my own. Basically, the advice that she gives to anyone who encounters a sociopath is to cut all ties with them and basically avoid them like the plague, no matter what they do. Don't let them in your life, don't let them in the life of anybody that you love. And the only exception that it gives as far as being involved with their life is, if you know someone out there who is a potential victim, basically that you have a responsibility to try and speak up and keep that person from being victimized. The problem that I have with that advice is that she estimates that maybe 1 in 100 of the people in the world are sociopaths on average, and unfortunately in the United States, for reasons unknown, probably the fact that we have such a materialistic, capitalist-driven society. About 1 in 25 people in the United States is a sociopath. So I just don't think, even though cutting and running and is certainly a great option if you really have that option, I think that it's a false choice, because unfortunately sociopaths they're not just a significant portion of society, but because of the type of people that they are and the psychological makeup that they have, unfortunately they tend to rise to power. And if you look at how our society operates, which is very much dog-eat-dog, our whole banking and monetary system is completely corrupted, and our world more or less operates on a principle that everybody is sort of out for themselves and maybe their families, because sociopaths do on occasion act in the best interest of others if they see that person as property, and I personally can attest to that characteristic that sociopaths have, having been considered property at one time. Like I said, I really liked that book, and I would encourage people to read it, but the idea that you can just cut and run from these people and cut them out of your life and then everything will be okay is just not true. I think even though it's not an easy thing to deal with someone that has absolutely no conscience at all, and obviously that type of person is very dangerous, is going to do whatever they can to hurt you if they see you as a threat. I think that it is absolutely necessary for the survival, of us personally and as a society. I think it's necessary that we confront these people, that we expose them, and that we take away their power to hurt other people by exposing them, even if that means personal sacrifice.